Hi, my name is Christine Tink, and I'm the current President of Spinal Cord Injuries Australia. I am proud to be President of a charity that has been so much a part of the spinal cord injury community for the last 50 years and will continue to be for the next 50, I'm sure. I invite you to come on a journey for the next few minutes and see what you, the community, can be proud of and what we will continue to build on. Please celebrate with me and the rest of the team at SCIA, the people, the work and the passion that has been the last 50 years of Spinal Cord Injuries Australia.
In 1966, a group of young people with quadriplegia, some having lived at the Prince of Wales Hospital for 6 or 7 years, were told they had to move to the spinal unit, Ward 1 at Prince Henry Hospital in Little Bay. Dissatisfied and feeling that they had lost control over their lives, the group, along with Gary Garrison, an American social worker based at the hospital, started to meet regularly to talk about life, independence and accommodation options. At this time, there was no form of accommodation facilities for people with spinal cord injury. Gary Garrison tells the story of how the idea for the Australian Quadriplegics Association, AQA, was first formed. In our meetings, I kept referring to AQA this and AQA that. In due course, everyone there started talking about AQA. If somebody would ask whether I'd be going on patient rounds or such and such today, I'd say no, I have to attend a meeting of AQA, and then bolt off to my group. Eventually, everyone in the hospital talked about how AQA was in favour of or working on this or that. Even Dr. Burniston used it with his colleagues and supervisors. The first official meeting of the Australian Quadriplegic Association took place on the 4th of September 1967. It wasn't until 1976 that AQA established an office. Until this time, the association's activities were carried out from a veranda of the Bon Accord nursing home where many of the original founders of AQA still lived. Construction of the office was completed in September 1976, and the office became the centre of the organisation. In 1976, AQA established one of the first non-institutional style of accommodation properties for people with spinal cord injury. Ashton House soon became a flagship accommodation property where people with severe physical disabilities could live. 10 years after the establishment of AQA was the birth of the organisation's first quarterly magazine, Quad Centre, to connect people and create a platform for issues of the day to be shared. Throughout their long and proud history, Quad Centre, Quadrangle and finally Accord have been the voice for people with spinal cord injury and a vehicle to share news, information, issues, movements, reforms and how to get involved. From the beginning, our organisation has campaigned, protested and advocated with and for people with a disability. In chronological order, there has been a protest against the federal government in 1978 trying to introduce a tax on the invalid pension. The Attendant Care Rally in 1986. AQA had been a consistent lobbyist for attendant care and the result was an allocation of funding in the New South Wales Government's 1982-83 budget for a pilot study. But by 1985, the prospects for a truly national scheme were not looking good. In 1997, a demonstration was held outside the Sydney office of the Prime Minister to protest against a 41% cut in funding to the Human Rights and Equal Opportunity Commission. The Program of Appliances for Disabled People, PADP campaign, and the rally in 1999. After years of neglect of the equipment needs in New South Wales, AQA recommended that the disability sector come together to plan a campaign. The National Taxi Transport Subsidy Scheme campaigned to increase the subsidies for people with disability using taxi services for transport. In 1999, AQA participated in a rally to protest against the New South Wales Hills Grammar School decision to deny enrolment to Scarlett Finney due to her disability.
In the planning of the Eastern Suburbs Railway, no allowances were made for the 1.1 million Australians who are handicapped. At the opening of the railway, we demonstrated that handicapped people have rights, and it's high time that we were considered.
One particularly significant action was the Eastern Suburbs Railway Station protest. Former SCIA President Joan Hume told the story in an article in Quadrangle. Our intrepid band of demonstrators braved the wrath of a largely unsympathetic crowd of spectators who jostled and abused us mercilessly. We were screamed at to return to our nursing homes where we belonged and not to spoil the view and fun of the righteous, unimpaired train travellers. When Premier Rann realised that it would take a long while to make all train stations accessible, he introduced wheelchair-accessible taxis and the Taxi Transport Subsidy Scheme. He cited the protest as its initial instigator. One of the people at that protest was this narrator's mum, Jo Marnie. Within the next couple of years, every state in Australia had introduced similar measures. Over the years, SCIA has provided many meaningful and worthwhile services and programs and pioneered alternative and innovative services that we are particularly proud. One of these is of our intensive exercise program, Neuro Moves, and was the brainchild of David Prast, a visionary and passionate man whose driving force was always to get the best possible outcome for people with a spinal cord injury. This service is increasingly being recognised as a leader and influencer in the field of intensive exercise. This recognition led to us being invited to collaborate on a research program with Spinal Cure Australia and the University of Technology Sydney called Project Edge. It's collaborations like these that contribute to creating an inclusive society for people with spinal cord injuries. In 2014, the Australian Spinal Injury Alliance, Spinal Alliance, was founded, of which we are very proud to be a founding member. Representing 8 of Australia's state-based spinal cord injury organisations, the Alliance launched its vision and approach to deliver a national spinal cord injury strategy that would lay the foundation for better outcomes, both social and economic, for all Australians who have sustained a spinal cord injury. Current Spinal Cord Injuries Australia Chief Executive Officer Mr. Peter Perry said, "The world is certainly changing for Australians living with spinal cord injury."
Society has changed a lot in the last 50 years, yet it still feels like we're on the brink of much, much more. The past 2 years has seen a huge social reform with the introduction of the National Disability Insurance Scheme. People will now be able to take control of their lives better than ever before. And to continue to be relevant, organisations like Spinal Cord Injuries Australia need to make sure they engage with the community to ensure that our services are relevant and are available to everyone who needs them.
I echo the sentiments of Peter Perry and reiterate that society has and will change. I'm proud to be part of an organisation that has facilitated this change and will continue towards advancing the rights of everyone, so that we can all live as independently as we choose. On behalf of the team at SCIA, I'd like to extend my gratitude to those who've been such a massive part of our 50-year history, and to those who are so much a part of our future. Thank you.